So years ago, this young woman, she shared a story with me that it stuck with me. This has been almost 15 years. And she said that when she was younger, she asked her dad, how do I know what kind of man I should marry? And she thought that her dad would say something like, well, find a faithful man, find a man who's noble, find a man who's wealthy, find a man who's responsible, maybe owns his own home, whatever the thing is. He looked at her and he told his daughter, this father told his daughter, find a man who can fast. Like that was his piece of advice. Why? Because if there's a man who has the ability to control his appetites, like even his literal appetites for food, that's a man who has begun to have control of his other appetites. That's a man who's begun to know what it is to not be dominated by his passions, or not to be dominated by his emotions, not to be dominated by his lesser self. Because we all have that, right? Every one of us, we have the self in us that wants to do great things. We have the self in us that wants to compromise and will do anything. We all have that. So why would that father say to his daughter, find a man who can fast? Because if you found a man who can fast, you have not found a perfect man. What you found is a man who is beginning to control his passions. He's beginning to say, I don't need to be that lesser man who compromises and who's striving after be the man that he knows he's meant to be. The benefit of fasting in so many ways, there's 1,000 benefits of fasting. One of them is fasting becomes the road to freedom. Fasting becomes that day that shows up and it's like, okay, I'm out, but it's one of the fast days. I'm just gonna give in, I'm just gonna compromise. As opposed to saying, no, it's one of the fast days, and so what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna be that man that I know I'm called to be, not just the man who settles for less. Fasting is not the goal. Fasting can become the path that helps us to the goal.